Hi everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful time. Today I'm going to share a very exciting speaker that you can have for $800 for a pair of them. That is Dayton Audio Opel One stand mount speakers, two-way design using 5.5-inch bass driver and 1 1/8-inch soft dome tweeter. Major different design of this Opel One from other speaker is this one is using two passive radiators in the back, as well as speaker binding posts are off center, smaller than such as a Bowers & Wilkins 607 S3 or CAF Q350 or those type of speakers. For the frequency response and in-room response measurement, I took REW measurement 1 meter 3 feet away on exit measurement of a mono speaker, as you can see here. And also I did stereo measurement in room response from my listening position, which is 10 feet away. So as you can see here, bass response down to 30 hertz region. I mean, incredibly good for the sound quality of the bass as well, and gradually rolled up highs that you will see here, so which totally reflect the sound quality as well. So I tested with a few different amplifiers. When I was breaking them in, I was using AYIMA A70 Little Class D amp, clean and transparent sound. So when I moved it here to main system, I started using with Accuphase E4000 and listening to my music and fine tune it to the way I like it. So this is where I end up to get the best stereo image and soundscape out of them. After I settle with this placement, I start listening with my reference music, and what I can notice is width of the soundscape is slightly more than the boundary of the speaker, so a little bit narrower than what I'm used to, but the depth is incredibly deep for this size of the speaker. Listening to a lot of different music, and what I notice is bass will never disappoint you, let alone selling less than $1,000 for a pair of them. So some of the European brands will sell you probably like $2,000-3,000 for that kind of bass performance in comparison. So they can be put pretty close to the wall, but I like to put them right around here to get the best stereo image out of it. So when I'm listening, a little few things that I notice is mid bands around 1,000 to 2,000 hertz region can be slightly forward sounding, as well as lower highs are slightly more pronounced. It has good depth and good richness, as well as nice and articulated notes in general. Even the bass lines are very well produced, regardless of the size of the driver. It's only 5.5-inch that they are using on this. So when I was listening to like Bad Guy, right, from Billie Eilish, the lines are not as clear as I'm used to with my S1EX Towers. The bass lines are, but still noticeable, nice and deep and well-produced bass lines. So those are very impressive sound out of these little speakers, as well as vocals and voices, good refinement to it. Listening to this, right, try to push it up to the spec, which is the rated for 102 dB and power handling of 200 watt RMS power handling. So I try to get there with my Accuphase E4000. I was pairing ZDO UHD 8000 music streamer and music server. When I pushed it, the needle on the VU meter is hitting the 200 mark. Opel One is still producing nice and well-controlled sound signature that it can deliver even that kind of loudness level, as you will see here on my side. When I get to like 98 dB range, I can keep on going, but I noticed a little bit of a noise that's starting to introduce. That is from the passive radiator when I look at it. So I stopped pushing. But power handling, very, very impressive for this price point. in comparison, if you push that kind of power level to like any kind of LS50, they're not going to be able to do that. Even like CSS Audio 1TDX Superior Design cannot do that kind of power handling. So this is incredible in that kind of power delivery, and output wise sound quality is very impressive for that regard, and it can dip down to 4.3 ohm when you really push it, and then sensitivity is super low, right? 78.5 dB sensitive. So you might worry it's gonna need high power amplifier to drive them. Worry not. Because of that, I try with 300B tube amplifier from MusicShare, the X9 that I've been using. So that is only 8 watt of power output, 4 ohm or 8 ohm or 60 ohm load. So I pair with this Opal One, which is 8 ohm load. And when I drive it, that's the sound sample that you will hear in this review video. So that is driving with MusicShare X9, 8 watt of 300B amp, bass lines, mid bands, and everything is well reproduced and refinement in sound quality. You can totally enjoy listening to it. Super sweet and accurate vocals. I was listening to Sabrina Carpenter Espresso Mocapella version. Man, that is so sweet. Her voice is naturally sweet and is incredibly reproduced when I pair with 300 BM. Oh, by the way, these tweeters Gallian also uses on transmission line speaker. So when I was listening with the X9, I listened Eminem, Houdini, or the Taylor Swift, Fortnite, the bass, vocals, and everything combined. This one is one impressive speaker. So bass quality, when I pushed it, it can deliver deep bass sound quality and response, but it's not like chest thumping, room shaking bass quality like this S1EX towers would deliver. So as always say, no replacements for displacement, right? But for the size of it, for the price of it, it doesn't disappoint you in terms of sound quality and performance. Probably this is the one and only speaker in this size and this price point that can go 32 Hz response. So major strength of this Dayton Audio Opal One is bass quality. So bass quality is not only good at high SPL, it's also well produced in conversation level loudness like 50 to 60 dB range. I was listening to London Grammar Rooting for You, right? In outro, there is deep bass lines that probably most people will not notice, even with some of the tower speakers. So those kind of bass lines are very well noticeable even in that 50 to 60 dB range of conversation level loudness. Everything combined, enjoyable sound signature that this Opal One can deliver. So I mean, I have nothing to complain in terms of fitment and sound quality other than high SPL noise that I noticed around above 95 dB range from that passive radiators. Other than that, everything works as it should, and sound quality that it can show for. The rest of the sound is pairing component dependent. So for the pairing wise, if you're gonna pair with Class D amp, try to get biggest power output Class D amplifier to get the best out. But if you're gonna use tube amplifier, 20 watts of triode will deliver good sound quality for the price of $800, and for the bass quality that it can put out, I can totally easily recommend it to you. They sound good in high SPL. They also sound good in low SPL, so which is incredible and unheard of in this price point. This speaker will give you very exciting and enjoying your music in your system. So highly recommended, my friend. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
starting with the